watching the Fox
Well,
10
it's something
weather
many of us
experts
may
with
not think
time.
about, and maybe you don't want to, but it is so important. Creating a will or maybe a trust, getting all of your assets in place for those, left behind.
Yeah, and you used to think, oh, if I have a will, I'm good,
Yeah.
right? But if you have older parents or grandparents, you want to get things in order, and wills may not do it. So George Finn's an attorney at the Rose Law Group. Hello, George. Thank you for being here. I appreciate
Good
it.
morning.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
having me.
Welcome.
So I had heard that, if you have a will, you're in pretty good shape, but that's not necessarily the case, right? There are other tools that you could probably use that are better.
Absolutely. So first, a will is essentially an outline of how a person wants their assets distributed after their death. It also appoints an executor who manages those assets and facilitates that intent. So having a will, you need to go through the probate process, which can be time consuming and very expensive.
And probate is what? Explain that to us.
Probate is a legal proceeding overseen by the probate court, and it validates the will and distributes the assets.
And so what is a trust in comparison?
So a revocable trust is a legal mechanism, an arrangement where a person transfers their assets into the trust and has them managed by a trustee, which could be the person who set the trust up as well, and they designate a successor to act upon their death. So a revocable trust sort of is effective immediately, and it helps you can manage your assets effectively upon when it's signed.
And you pretty much avoid that whole probate court process, right? And
Correct.
It's very seamless.
Correct. That's a key advantage for a trust over a will, is that you're avoiding that probate process.
So my mom is like 76, 77 years old, and she's still in great health, and she had written up a will, and here's what so would it be in my best interest then to go to her and say, hey mom, you should probably do a revocable trust because things will be much easier?
I agree. It is much easier, and it puts less strain on individuals who have to manage that after she passes. So having a revocable trust in place allows the estate to not go through probate and be effectively managed by the designated trustee.
Does it affect taxes at all or anything like that? Inheritance taxes or anything?
Not necessarily. There's exemptions, lifetime exemption, where as of this year, it's approximately 24 million for spouses or 12 million for individuals. So unless you're valued at more than that, then you start to worry about taxes, and that's where more complex estate planning tools are available.
You may have to worry about that.
No, I think we're just fine. When it comes to go ahead.
Let me ask you this. I think it can be a little intimidating for a lot of people when they think will, trust, and they think, do I really have enough assets to even put into a will or a trust? What kind of advice can you share with folks who they may say, well, all I have is my house, or I have my car, or I don't know if I have that many assets to pass on?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how many assets you own, it's always advisable to have an estate plan in place so that your beneficiaries are not dealing with consequences after your death that may arise.
Right. And is it hard to put one of these together? Do we need a guy like you? Is there something we can do online, or what do you suggest?
It can be done online, but I highly recommend seeking local counsel to assist you through that process, because there are little caveats that just need compliance.
Super expensive, or is it something that's not that bad?
Is it pricey?
No, not too expensive. A trust is a little more complex and runs, a little more expensive, but you may spend more money if you have a will going through probate.
Right. George, thank you so much. How can people contact you if they'd like to?
They can contact me at Rose Law Group, 480-291-0747, and feel free to give me a call if anybody has any questions.
All right, that's George. Hey, George, good to see you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you for having me.
coming in.
George
Thank you.
Finn, Rose Law Group. Thanks again, buddy. All right.